United States Secretary of Homeland Security. And it's been about 7 months now since President Trump and his administration have been working to make America safe again. As you know, the Department of Homeland Security is tasked with making sure that we have a secure border, which we have overwhelmingly been successful with by President Trump's direction, at making sure we're enforcing our laws in this country, that the rule of law matters, and that it applies equally to everybody. We have had for 3 months in a row 0 illegal aliens entering the United States, which is the first time in this nation's history that we've seen that kind of security at our nation's border. Also, we've been working on getting dangerous criminal illegal aliens out of our country. Murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, human traffickers going.
Hey guys, do you agree with that? Because I talked to several people out there in the communities. Do you think that we are at a low level of migration coming to the United States as American citizens at large? Just that point. Do you think we are at a low level of migrants coming into the United States? Have they brought it down to a zero-sum net sum of migrants coming to the United States? What is your opinion? I would like to know that. This sounds good, but do you think what we've seen under the Biden administration, where it was like floods of people coming in over the border, they don't show images of that anymore? I know there are still reporters down there, also content creators. We don't see a lot of information on that, visual information on that, that there's that many people coming through the border. You know, I know we have more military personnel down there on the border of Texas and across the American landscape, southern landscape. So what is your opinion on Secretary Noem's statement as far as this administration, President Trump's administration, has cracked down on the migrant crossing the border into the United States at pretty much a zero-sum net? What is your opinion on that statement?
Out, arresting them, and removing them from our communities so that our families can be safe again at night. Our top priorities have been these 2 items: securing our borders and arresting dangerous criminals and removing them from our cities and our towns and our states across the country from coast to coast.
Should President Trump remove Pride Month and replace it with Veterans Month? We believe the people who spent
Since President Trump has taken office.
Okay, everyone. I have another question. Do you think that I want to hear one more statement on what she had to say. Just listen a little more. I have that.
We have arrested hundreds of thousands of these illegal criminals. I'm here today because.
Okay, my question will be this. Here's another question on this point. Do you think that the administration, the Trump administration, and all of these major players in the administration have a major crackdown on the migrants, the illegal migrants, as far as the criminal element of the undocumented and the legal migrants? I got to say both parts, because to be fair, I don't want to sound stupid. There is undocumented DACA people, and there's also illegal people that's in the country that breaks the laws. And we know that on both sides, even under the Democrats, there were people that was arrested for doing so many horrendous crimes. So then will be illegal migrants. Do you think they have arrested more illegal criminal element migrants versus the undocumented migrants that's trying to have a positive life? Do you think there's a separation, or is that they're looking at both sides, or they're focusing more on undocumented migrants versus criminal element in that pool of migrants? What is your opinion?
The elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets. They're deciding that dangerous criminals that are murderers, rapists, money launderers, have committed assault, that are trafficking children, are more important than the families that live in the communities here. That includes Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, and others who have worked so hard to protect these dangerous criminals. They'd rather be a sanctuary state and continue to put those individuals above American citizens who built this country, who've raised their families here for generations, and just want to be able to walk down the street safely at night and put their kids to bed and live a peaceful life. Today I'm highlighting 4 different examples of individuals that we've recently arrested here out of this office with the good work of ICE and our HSI officers that we've taken off the streets without the help of the governor or the mayor. Our federal officers have had to do this alone without their support, and these dangerous individuals are now no longer victimizing people because of the good work that we do. Hector Bonaparte is a 42-year-old illegal Mexican alien who had previously been convicted of predatory sexual criminal assault against a victim under the age of 13. We have Jarvin Flores Santos, who's a 40-year-old Honduras individual who was arrested back in 2020 the first time for aggravated criminal sexual abuse and attempted criminal sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 13 again. And Waldemar Jabik, a Polish citizen who had been convicted in 2014 for attempted murder and then also aggravated domestic battery. He was convicted of these after he stabbed his own wife and his 19-year-old daughter. It was not the first time that police had been called to his house for domestic disturbance, but he was never held accountable until recently by these federal officers. Don Gay Silas, a 33-year-old illegal alien from Micronesia, has had 3 DUI convictions, and as well as convictions of criminal mischief, of wanton endangerment, and driving without a license. These individuals would still be out on our streets today, committing crimes and attacking people and harming them and hurting our children if Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson had their way, because their choice has been routinely over and over and over again to release these criminals back on the streets.
The next billion-dollar startup is out there. Want to discover it first?
Policies has real consequences.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Do you feel that the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Illinois are sending criminals back out? I'm not in Illinois, I can't say directly so, but what I hear from people, citizens of Illinois, that don't really have a voice, and they're complaining that there are a lot of illegal migrants that are causing a lot of they're causing a lot of problems. You see them on cameras throwing up gang signs. I do see that. I have seen it in New York City. And I don't know that much about Chicago, but the citizens now are speaking up at city hall meetings and mayor meetings and alderman meetings, and now really complaining about in their communities on the south side, west side of Chicago, they're having a lot of problems with this, and there's nothing being done in their community because they don't have a lot of power. And the city of Chicago has a great financial deficit right now, over $1 billion deficit, or even more than that, with including the education department of the state, of the city of Illinois, of Chicago, and also there's just a lot of debt over there, man, that he got to deal with, and the mayor is trying to do his best. But do you think that he is allowing these criminal elements to stay in there by, what I understand from what they're saying, that by putting funding towards that group? I think everyone has a right to be helped, but I don't know if you should be focused on the criminal element of that. And I don't believe no mayor or no governor is focused on the criminal element of that, but it's part of the package, you know what I mean? So what is your opinion on that? Do you think this is moving forward in the right direction, or you think it's not? What is your opinion? I would like to hear from you. the Homeland Security person here, the leader, director, she believes that it's happening. She's calling out the mayor and the governor of Chicago as leading factors, and other members of that the governor's circuit and the mayor's circuit in different cities are causing this criminal element to be evasive by supporting them. What is your opinion? I don't know. I don't agree with. It should be happening that way, but we do see a major crime element across the nation. So I'm curious about your opinion. Leave a comment below.
Has consequences for our law enforcement officers, but also for the families that live here and the businesses that are just trying to provide for their community. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson are answering that question every single day of who should be our priority, who should be our responsibility, and over again, they're choosing criminals. In just the last 7 months, ICE has issued over 1,664 detainers in Chicago alone. 1,664 detainers we have lodged against violent criminals, and that is a 106% increase over what was issued during the Biden administration. Unfortunately, Chicago and its leadership has only honored 8% of those. That means every other person, when they're released from paying for the consequences of their crimes, back onto our streets without any notification to individuals or to the families that have been victimized by them. By getting those 8% at least off of the street, the brave men and women of ICE are saving American lives. Yesterday we announced that now our ICE officers are facing a 1,000% increase in assaults against them. And you read about the stories and hear what's happening from coast to coast every day in our national media and in our press. But it's in large part due to the pro-sanctuary state and cities policies and the language of elected bureaucrats and politicians that are reckless with their lives and endangering their families. Every public official should talk about and work to protect people, to keep them safe and American people's lives safe. I want you to look at the contraband that's in front of me. We have
Hey guys, do you feel that that the legislature and the politicians are and the sanctuary cities are their policies are negatively affecting the citizens in them cities, the American citizens in them cities? Because I'm hearing a large report now that this is happening. A lot of people across the nation are complaining about noise, violence, thief, robbery in the legacy media. We're seeing it everywhere. California, Oregon, Washington, in my state of Washington, other area, Detroit, Chicago, New York, Louisville, D.C. What's happening in D.C. right now? All over the nation, there's a lot of turmoil going on, and it seems to be there is some conclusive evidence that this is happening across the nation. So I don't know. The director has a point here. Secretary Norm has a point here. So let's move on. What is your opinion? Leave a comment below.
right in 20 kilograms of fentanyl that's in front of me on this table. That's enough to kill 10 million people. And here out of this office, this was interdicted just days ago here in Illinois. And because these federal officers have been out on the streets picking up criminals and dangerous individuals, we were able to take this 20 kilograms of fentanyl off the streets and save over 10 million lives. They're also keeping these weapons out of the hands of criminals that would use it to rob and assault and to murder individuals in these communities. Unfortunately, all of the politicians that have spoken out against their efforts, their desire appears to be that they would like to have more of this on their streets, more drugs out there for their kids and families to be victimized.
Hey! Hey! 1 second, guys. We're going to get through this video real quick. Let's pause. 1 second. This is live. Continue.
Committing crimes. That is not the work that we do in ICE. The work that we do is to protect people and make sure that we remove these weapons and drugs off of our streets and hold those criminals accountable who would go forward and continue to use that to harm individuals. I just want to ask you for three things today. Number one, I want to ask you to support your law enforcement officers. Have their backs. Every single individual that's out there that is noisy and attacking them right now is having an effect that's ratcheting up the rhetoric and distorting facts and not allowing the facts to get out of with the work that they're doing every day and what we've done to help victims get some justice for the harms that were perpetuated in their lives. Those of us.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna pause right there. I definitely see what they're demonstrating in front of them to the public, to us. I definitely see a major problem across the line with drugs, violence, and there are a lot of. I've got to admit, there's a lot of immigrants that are partaking in these activities when they came to America illegally, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that's not happening. I don't know what the percentage of it happened. Like she said, 8%, but there is a percentage. And if we got Department of Homeland Security they're focused on that as part of ICE, I think that's a good thing. If they're focused on the criminal element of the migrant crisis, yes, I agree with that. As an American citizen, I would agree with that. What is your opinion? Leave a comment below. I'm not speaking on snatching people up out of their homes and stuff like that. If that's needed, if there's a reason for it, if there's a criminal element and they got a document and have a warrant for their arrest, then they are going by the federal courts, state courts. And what we say as a nation of laws, then I have to abide by that. Don't necessarily have to agree with it, but I have to abide by that because that's the law, So I'm not going to sit here and fantasize and be emotional on something when we know there's a difference between what was happening in the previous administration and this administration. They are actually following the law to us at a certain extent, and I agree with if they abide by the immigration law. If they abide by immigration law, I can't deny it because that's the laws on the books, And I watch some immigration officers feel the same way. I know I have some kind of emotional. I care about people, but also I know we got to have laws to keep chaos and keep order. So on both sides, I see, but I also have to understand as an American citizen, I pay taxes, and I want to make sure that we're safe here. I got family members, and if you don't have the same obligation that I have as far as being a citizen, and I have to have an ID and everything here, and be able to show and possess if something go wrong, I can't escape and run to another country or something or get away. Then I don't think that's fair as an American citizen to have that person have that ability that we don't have as citizens. So that's another point. I think that they should come out the dark and present themselves in a way where they get support, positive support, and be able to support their families. And it might have to be sent out the country, but at least you're doing it the right way, and then you'll be able to come back in, immediately. Hopefully you have saved money or resources in your family for your family, but we have to abide by the laws, in my opinion, the immigration laws and the federal laws and the state laws and the city laws, all ordinance we have to abide by. That's what we agree to as citizens, as a society. So I'm pretty much with this criminal element being taken off the streets. That's where I stop. I draw the line. They must be taken off the streets. If they're not doing it positive, 10 million people could be killed. What they have right in front of them, what we're looking at. Come on, guys, really? You're gonna say, "Oh, no." If you're willing to sell poison to people, you don't need to be here. We got families and stuff, and then that stuff comes with a lot of, drugs come with a lot of other dark activities that I don't need to go into that most Americans know, most people in the world know. So I pretty much stay away from that. But what's your opinion? Leave a comment, like, subscribe down below. Wait to hear from you.